Okay, hello everyone. We're going to be playing another 7Q game, I guess now. We didn't last very long in the DDK range, so if people do want to see more videos like that, definitely leave some comments down below if that's something you'd be interested in. Let's find a game here. Oh, okay, we got a game, and I am white in this game. Gotta make sure to say hello. Can't be mean. They're going to play a 5-4. All right, let's play a 3-4, just for fun. They're going to play some 5-4. They're going to play my opposing 3-4s. We'll have a fun, weird game on our hand. Let's see what they want to do here. They're doing a sort of interesting enclosure here. When my opponent plays this move on the side, I don't really like it when they approach my stone next. So I think I will actually just enclose my corner. Enclosing or approaching 3-4s or 5-3s or 5-4s and that sort of stuff, that's always fine to do. Well, they're going to build a large area. Wow. So we can actually do that right now. Invade their area right away. And you know what? Let's do it. Whenever they have a 5-4, I like to play this 3-3 move because it makes it significantly easier to handle locally. Able to live very easily. You don't have to worry about any special variations. Normally, we can actually play this Knight's move here, but they're really strong. So I'm just going to do a normal one space jump. A move to just try to get ahead of my opponents. They played a slow move. I'm going to play a slightly faster move. But if I play too far away, I may have cutting points. So just a nice simple move is a little bit easier. Just expanding their area. That makes sense. Let's just give them all the influence they want. We're going to play another 3-3. And we'll see how we can sort of reduce from a distance or how we can win this way. We'll just do another basic 1-point jump. We'll probably play higher if we wanted to. Like right now, we can play higher. And they're going to push us from behind, and that'll be okay. And we're going to have to focus on reduction here. I don't want to hane, leaving any cutting points. We're just going to extend. This side as well. I don't want to do a knight's move here, but if they play another move, we have to ask ourselves if we want that, right? So if they play one more move here, we're surrounded in a way that could be annoying. And if we have to go back and live right away, then that's not good. I want to play one more move because the surround would be pressuring my group. So I don't want to feel pressure, so I'm going to jump one more time. This is also still threatening to come out towards the center because there is a gap here. So if they protect this gap, then we can go back to the top side. If they play on the top side, we'll have to think about if we can use this or not. This almost looks like a Sanrinsei type formation, but they actually are getting one line less points-wise. So it's actually smaller than a normal Sanrinsei game, which is kind of interesting to think about, honestly. That means that we may not even have to really reduce that much. So it just depends on what they play. Something I think is very important is always try to make comparisons to things you already know. And that'll help give you an idea if you need to worry or not about a certain situation. That's why it's good learning like the basic Joseki, like the most common basic Joseki, because then if something different happens from that, you can compare to that original Joseki and see where things are better or worse. You have to sort of make that decision on your own, though. It's very important. They decided to play on the top side, which I think is probably the better move. We do have a little bit of an area to potentially come in here. It's not perfect, though. It's definitely not perfect. We could try to peep here. They connect, and we can maybe jump out towards this center area. We do have a little bit to worry about with that, though. So I'm not going to worry about that, I think. I think what's a little bit more important is probably just taking my points. So I'm going to do another 2-space jump here. We're just going to surround all the points on the top side. And if they want to close this area off, then they can do that. And again, I'm just going to take another sort of point move here. This is always going to be big. The reason why I took this move on the top first is because I didn't want them to try to surround my group. But now that we're on the same level, like neither one of us is ahead of each other, it's harder for them to do that. So now I can go back and take my corner enclosure. I want to play high, but I don't think it really matters, honestly. So we'll play high because I want to. The reason I said it doesn't really matter is just because I think there's no extra special connection or anything here. So, okay. That's a bit strange. What would be the easiest move, right? So if we just back away, they're able to just get more strength locally. And that's not really what we need to do right now. What we really need to do is we need to actually be fighting back against our opponent. Our group is strong, right here, this group is alive. Our corner is alive, which means this is a weak stone. This is not a strong stone. So if we push and cut here, they can Hane, which we probably have to respond to, which is a little bit annoying. Maybe even just this Hane and we go to capture could also be fine. But fighting back is going to be really good here. We don't want to just back off. So I'm going to do it in the best shape I can. So I'm going to start with just this Hane here. And it's okay if he breaks into this area. I'm just targeting down. If he decides to break in, we just capture. He plays another move, then we can move on with the game. We don't even have to worry about this top side anymore. Because as I said, we're already alive over here. So there's nothing for us to worry about. We got even more strength towards this left side. So now we can worry about their area if we want to. Or we can even still just go back to our own area. Either one is going to be fine. I kind of want to do something about their area. I think I will. I think I decided that I will. I'm going to play in the spot that is going to sort of threaten this weakness the most, while also still not being behind enemy lines. It's okay if it's on the line, but you just don't want to be behind it. So anywhere deep in here is potentially too much. So I was thinking this move could be kind of fun. It's close enough to this weakness that if they defend it, then I can run away, or I can even run in deeper if I want to. I guess that's potentially okay. If they jump here, I am a little bit weak, so sure, I will answer. I want to make sure my group stays strong. I still had a lot of space here. They're playing a move, which is opening up this eye, the elephant's eye here, so I'm okay with pushing into it and see what they want to do. Interesting. They are creating a weakness in their shape. So I'm going to push through and Atari here, if I can. I forgot you have to move the mouse around or else it won't let you do certain things. And I don't want them to Atari my stone that right there, because that would give them some eye shape. So I'm going to Atari them first. It's okay if they Atari under. I just didn't want them to do that one. And now we just need to protect our group here. We don't have that many liberties. So if they Atari us and Hane, we're under a little bit of an attack. So I'm just going to try to surround my opponent here by jumping to the left side. They're going to make this group alive, but because I got to cut here, they're doing the Atari here, which doesn't make too much sense, but because I got to cut here, they're in a little bit more danger. So we'll let them, there we go, we'll let them do this. And there is potentially a cutting point here if I really want to try to fight back and do something. But I'm not going to worry about fighting back. I am very tempted. I have to be honest. I am very, very tempted. But I'm not going to worry about it. I think we're just going to be jumping towards the center here. Make sure this group is alive. Make sure this group is strong. They can fix their area if they want to. I'll even reduce it just a little bit. See what they want to do. This is focusing on making my group stronger. That is all I'm worried about. Same with this jump here. I'm threatening the reduction, but also just making sure my group is strong. Okay. This cut doesn't really matter. This is only a couple points. So we could decide to leave it. We can also connect if we really want to. If we connect, we are threatening to come in through this area. So if you want to do that, that's fine. So let's just play the simple move. And now we can actually build up this left side if we really want to with a move like this jump here. And we can still also threaten them on this side, which is kind of fun. I think I'm going to connect up my groups. That's all I'm worried about is just connecting my groups here. We made some extra strength by threatening to reduce their area. And now we got to connect all of our stones. So we feel pretty good. Yeah, it is still very wide, which is why they're coming in right away, but it's okay. We want to push them towards the direction which gives them the smallest base. So I'm going to push them towards the corner here. But we're going to make sure they can't jump in there any further. Oh, I like that they're just going for the life here. I'm going to make sure they have to live, though. So I'm going to block. This is getting me some points as well. And they are going to just try to live locally. That's probably a good idea. I'm going to peep at this point because I'm showing them they're not quite alive yet. And as I said, they still need to live. They can live, though. It's up to you how you kind of want to handle this. We could throw in and try to keep attacking. Or we could go for the surround first. If we surround first, they can live. If we throw in, then we go to surround, it's harder for them to live. So I think most of the time, you should try to make it a little bit harder for your opponent to live. So I'm going to throw in first. Because if they have to live in the center, That makes it so we get even more moves out of it. Now we can try, for example, to cap this whole area off. I didn't necessarily want to kill, but if I end up killing, that's a separate story. I could just keep backing off here, actually. The reason why we're very happy to get this Panuki earlier and not really worry about the points that we lost is because we're so strong here. So I can actually just keep extending back and it doesn't do anything. He should have actually played a different way, probably, because I don't have to block this off. I can just extend back again because none of my stones are in trouble. Okay, now he's still coming out, which is good. We just need to look at where our weakness is. If they Hane, maybe there's a push and cut thing. Not really. Not really. Looks like we're actually probably pretty close to safe on this side. And maybe there's something on the top side, but there's no way to make an eye on the top side. So one of the ways to make sure we're completely safe is just to defend our one little cutting point area. That could be something that's right. Like this move could be really nice. But we also have a little bit of a shape issue if we do this one. We could potentially run into the spot where we're losing liberties. And that's because we're taking away a liberty when we're playing this. We're not gaining a liberty. So playing like a diagonal is probably a little bit better if we're going to do that. In this case, I'm just going to make it so we can't run out towards the other side. So I'm going to fix this shape here. That was my biggest weakness there. This also makes sure I get some points in the center area. And that's the more important aspect here. This one is threatening to make two eyes, right? I believe if they go down here, they are alive. So if we really, really want to kill, we do have to Hane here. And then we'd have to play here, and then they could Hane us. There's a lot of stuff here. So instead of going for the kill, we're just going to be backing off, making sure that our stones are strong. We don't have any problems here. So now that they went back and lived, we can go and harass the next group. They do have a really large area. We have a corner here and a corner here, and we have some points over here and some points on the top and some points in the center. So we'll have to see if that's going to end up being enough. We want to attack in a way that emphasizes the points that we could potentially make here. So we could block here. Capturing this stone would be worth a lot, and we also getting more points this side. We could also play this move. I kind of want to play this move first, so I think I will. We made these as points, so we don't necessarily need to worry about them jumping towards the center. And I'm going to block here as well. As I said, getting these side moves are getting us at least a couple points at a time. Yep, we can just pull back. And now he's doing just the connection. Usually you'd want to play a little bit differently. And because we're so strong, we could actually just go all the way over to here. We'd have to read it all out completely, but this seems like a nice vital point to reduce the amount of eye shape they have. And if they try really hard to capture the stone, maybe we make a couple more points locally. Okay, we could push again here, but we do have to worry a little bit about this group, about these stones. So I want to threaten to push there, but not actually push there right away. So let's just play a farther away move here like this and get a couple more points. And then if they want to live here, they can. So we would need to ask ourselves, if we pull back here and save this stone, are they alive or are they dead if we play the next move? So if we pull back and they don't play again, then we throw in, they play a move, we go down, it looks like they're kind of dead. So they would have to Hane instead, then we can Hane here. So it looks like they're dead, they need another move. So I'm going to pull back here. This strengthens this shape and they can go back and live. Maybe I could have thrown in and killed them right then and there because we're strong enough on the outside, but I don't really want to do that. I don't want to just go and kill my opponent like that so easily. So now we can just go back and play some nice end game. We got a couple extra points in the center all the way through here, which feels really nice. And we just need to get some more points on the side of the board. Our opponent only really has this one area, whereas we have a few different areas. So this should be fine. I'm going to Hane here. This is kind of how I wanted the game to go. I'm happy it ended up going this way. Happy it ended up finding the way to live and play the tiger's mouth. Make sure there's no weird cutting points on top. I'll even just jump down here just to get some extra points in because it feels a little bit more comfortable. It's not really the right type of move. He probably should have just reduced my other side because he could have threatened to jump in. Whereas on this side, I guess he can attach, but it's kind of difficult to do that. So we're going to play the diagonal here to get our extra points on top. Okay, yep, just block. Yep, I'm okay to just back off here. He got this Hane, but we got the diagonal move, which feels really good. Our group is perfectly alive. So we don't need to worry about it. We don't need to worry about any of our groups. They're all really nicely alive. So we just need to worry about playing big end game. I'm really bad at that. Nothing I really have to worry about over here. The pushing from these sides is kind of annoying. They're just end game there. This Hane is like a reverse Sente. We'll play this one first, just for fun. Yep, I get to get Tengen first, which means I did win this game. If I just pull back, I have to keep pulling back all the way, so I'm going to jump instead. Yep, and now I can block and connect. Same thing I can do in the corner. It's a little bit different in the corner, but it's the same idea. Okay, we're just worried about points right now, so we're going to make sure they can't come into the top side. And yep, as I said, we're just worried about points, so they're already alive. So that means we're just taking our points here, right? Just points. The other stuff doesn't really matter. I'm connecting just because I did it naturally. Happens sometimes. It was probably big, but not that big. So, yep, now we can pull back here. We jump again. And in this corner, it's a little bit different because we can connect first. They have to connect. And then this top Hane is a little bit different because it's a Ko instead. So we don't have to necessarily play it the same way. I kind of do want this move, even though it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to play it anyway, just for fun. I'm going to threaten this one too. I'm going to play here as well. Kind of a shortage of liberties on my opponent to some extent. They don't necessarily have to respond because it isn't worth that much to respond. Since they never went back to the bottom right, I think I will play a fun little Tesuji there. I'll just back off. I'm not going to worry about the Ko here. The reason I didn't worry about the Ko is because they sort of have to connect if they're going to push here. So it ends up being Gote. And now we can play this really cool clamping move. Let me double check to make sure it works first. Yeah, it works. It works. Okay. We can play this cool clamping move here to get rid of a couple more points. Yep, just extend down. That's just a fun little end game that you learn about when you go through a lot of books and stuff. But everything's going to be pretty small from this point on, so we're just going to hurry through that. I don't need to cut it out. I think I actually do like this move. Should I do this one first? Valid point. I think I like this shape more. So let's do this one. There's also this area here that I want to go back and protect. So a couple spots. I'm going to play this just because I don't want to have to worry about it. And then there is a follow-up here of doing an Atari on their group. So if they don't play it, we're playing it right away. Capturing this would be more than big enough to deal with this area if they break in. Yep. And now we go back. I wanted to go there, but I decided to go for the nicer looking shape first. This was probably bigger, if I'm honest. Wedge here is a little bit unusual. I was looking at the Hane first, but I think that's what they're going for, basically, is they wanted to sort of Hane here. I kind of want to do this Atari, because if they connect there, I owe a move, and if I get to connect here first, I don't owe that move. And then I can also then go back and fix. So I think I will do this Atari first. I guess I don't know if I want to turn here directly. So maybe we just prevent the Atari instead. No, I guess it's fine. We'll just turn. We'll turn. It'll be okay. I don't need to think about it too much. The Hane at the bottom would actually be really big. I was hoping they would try to find a move there, but they haven't done it yet. Okay, doing this wedge first, which is good. We'll connect. Get rid of the double Atari. Connecting just because it looks more fun, honestly. You can play any move you want over there. They do need to get this Hane in, because this is probably Sente on their part. The push will be Sente too, so that's okay. Wedge, yeah, that makes sense. But now I get to fix my weakness here, because there's a cutting thing that I have to worry about. And now this Hane is no longer Sente for them. So I'm not sure which one was better. Both are probably fine. And yeah, we just need to play some basic moves here. Probably Hane is slightly better than Capture. So it doesn't matter too much as long as we're playing moves that are all doing something. That's all that really matters in the end game. It's very easy to play moves that don't make any points or that don't really change the points at all. So the goal is just to play moves that actually do something. Like this. That's at least making a point somewhere, right? And even this cut here is technically making a point. And like playing this Atari would be fine too. We could throw in if we really wanted to, just because we could, but let's just do the Atari directly. Yeah, lots of just small moves. The Hanes on the sides here. This is sort of a Mii situation, so I'm not too worried about it. So I could just take this point or take one of these points. I'll do this one just because. Okay. All right, we're almost wrapping up here. They got this Hane, so we'll take the other one after they connect. Because I was treating them as Mii. But I wouldn't listen to me about endgame, by the way. The only thing I'm really worried about is making sure we're always playing moves that are at least okay. We're basically done. I get to take this nice big move. They could have almost gotten that. I guess I probably would have played this one instead of this wedge. Because if I get to follow up, it's Sente. And if I don't get to follow up, it was also Sente. So we're good. These are Japanese rules, I believe. So we don't necessarily have to fill out any more spots on the board. But if my opponent does fill in Dame, I will as well. I always think it's perfectly fine to do that. But we might see him pass here instead. Okay, they passed here, so we will pass as well. And then they have to pass one more time, and then we can do the scoring. I have to select that one, and I think that's it. That should be done. Always have to double check. All those every time. Okay. I ended up winning by 27.5. Let me say thank you for the game. So there's not too much that I want to review here. I was able to kind of do exactly what I wanted to sort of illustrate here, in that I never had to invade my opponent, never had to do anything special. All I had to do was just keep making my own points and then reducing them from a distance, which is sort of how I suggest most people play to begin with. And then if you're losing, then that means you're doing one thing too much, like you're playing slightly too slow, or you made a mistake in some other way. Because I know I've seen quite a few times where people think they did everything right, but they actually did play like an invasion, or they did play something that was too much, right? But the thing that I really want to sort of emphasize for this game is actually a little bit later here. You saw that I just took points. I didn't have to do this. There was a couple of different ways I wanted to play. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, but I decided to do this way because if they decide to extend down here, I can then go and start reducing. And the way that I decide where to reduce, this is why I want to sort of talk about it, is like sort of how much do they need to make in order for them to win, right? So if I even need to come in at all is a good question. So one thing that I very much do is I count these corners that I got, which gave them this influence, right? So here, at least, we can say that there's at least 10 points on both sides. There might be a little bit more. There might be, I think it's just a little bit more. Not even a little bit less. I think there might be a little bit more. But we can just say 10 points. That's 20 points in the two corners that we have. So we just need to count out 20 points from our opponent on this side. So this is close to 20 points. The second line here is close to 20 points. So what they built here is the amount they got for profit for what the other things that I have on the board. So we can minus basically this lower half of this Moyo, and then we have to add what I made on the other side of the board. So it's probably closer to like 20-ish points on top, and another like 10 points on the bottom left, plus there's some potential to build more. So at least 30 more points, which is probably going to be like 3 more lines here. And these are 9 in a row. They're not 10, so it's not perfect, but so at least these 5 lines here are probably just subtracted from my opponent. And then probably plus a little bit more. I don't know if I have Komi. Actually, I should look at that. I think it's just a regular game. Yeah. Regular Komi. Okay, good. Because Pandanet has weird Komi. So then you can also add the Komi in as well. So we're getting rid of the majority of the points here without really having to do anything. So if we do just make more points and they never take this away, we may still be able to win that way. But it's a little bit harder to judge, especially when it's sort of 50-50. If it's 50-50, I like to go for the reduction idea instead. This is also usually just the safer idea to go with in general. If they have to back off like this, right, this is basically what happened in the actual game. Honestly, this is very close. And then we got to sort of just connect up this area. That means we're getting more points on the left side in general. This is why we generally don't consider these large frameworks on just one side of the board to be very good, because just the reduction of that large framework gives your opponent potential to build more points. Whereas our opponent here is black. They don't have any potential anywhere else on the board. They only have the one solid area of points. This can also still be a good way to play if you're willing to fight, actually, because you get one solid area, and then you just fight everywhere else on the board to try to turn it into nothing. That is a valid strategy. This reduction is going to give us some influence and some potential towards the left side. So all we have to do is if they go to do something like they did in the game, we just have to make sure that they don't live with 20 points. We just need to make sure they're living with just 2 points. That's the goal, where they're living with 2 to 5 points, not 10 or 20. Because as they're going to live, we got this extra, 6 points here. We counted that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines that were sort of shared between both sides. So there's these 2 extra lines here, and part of it was Comey. So probably just 1 line and a half. So that's like 15 points we need to make up as white, assuming we only get 10 points and 10 points, like assuming we got the minimum amount everywhere. This extra 6 points here is very useful. And then as they go to live, right, they did something like this one. We peeped here, and then we played this center move. As they go to live here, let's just have them do this one right away and just sort of live. You can see that with one more move here, we've made up that extra amount of points because they had to go back and live. Yeah, we lost a couple points in the corner because they're going to be able to push in, but we get some extra points here. And this is very likely making up for that little bit of extra that's left over here that we didn't quite make up yet, right? As I said, I just want to emphasize the fact that this middle thing is always going to be a little bit favored towards a person not doing it. Anyway, I think that was all I wanted to talk about this game. I thought it was kind of fun. So I hope you guys are having a good day, and I hope you guys are also having fun.